And action. So the trailer's set up and we're about to head out.
Yeah, just got off the phone there with a couple of big name players kind of in the show that's going to be happening. So it looks like all systems are good to go, and the light into the foreseeable future is the color green.
All packed up and ready to head up to Wood Mountain.
Shake and bake!
Shake and bake.
This is a cool spot.
What do you have to, why is this a good spot?
The site selection right off the hop is the defining factor why this is a good spot. There's definitely very little wind here. It's snowing hard on the other side of the trees, but right here you don't see very much. Wind will suck the heat from you much faster than a slower day. Also at the same time, they kind of made a natural firewall here. They chose a good site where it's going to create a natural firewall. They're not going to have to put so much work into that. So when they build their fire here, that heat is automatically going to be reflected in. So their site selection right away made that happen.
Look at this shelter right here the boys are making. They're still adding to it. They just started today. This is an ongoing process, but it looks really good.
Barks in your insulation. You don't want no bugs in your insulation bark, because as you make your fire inside your shelter, they'll start to wake up, and next thing you know, you're got a bunch of little bugs in your sleeping bag. And here we have the wilderness of the Great Southern Saskatchewan. Oh, what do we have here? A wild call sign keepness appeared. Field. It is a .303 British caliber, and it's quite an old rifle. The design dates quite a few years back. Over 100 years ago, the main design for this rifle was construed and put together. Later on, as designs got better, manufacturing capabilities got better, they were able to create a better rifle, and so forth. The number 4 Mark I was one of the standard issues that was given to Commonwealth forces back in World War II era. So this rifle itself is actually a 1941 long branch, or correction, 1942. So this rifle was made in 1942. It's got matching serial numbers, matching upper receiver with wood stock, good to go, uncut barrel, good to go. The only additions that I've added over the years are I've removed the iron sights, and I've incorporated a rail system to put a sight on it itself, so a scope. So the scope here, I'll just talk about the weapon as I go from the top down. The scope here is a 3x9 Weaver by 40 millimeters. What that means is that as you look through the scope on the smallest setting, it'll magnify. And these bullets were made these ways for a certain reason by people much smarter than us. And if we try and affect that, it might affect the accuracy it would have, and it might increase your ricochet factor, and it'll essentially, you might be doing something unsafe that could damage you itself. So on the bottom, as you guys,
Nice shot.
the ground. If you were to fire like this, that's lots of movement. But when you lift one leg up, you're elevating one of your lungs off of the ground, so it doesn't affect your movement so much. So when you breathe, your crosshairs on the scope will stay steadier. What I want you guys to do is shoot for where I told you to shoot. But when I want you guys to squeeze the trigger is when you're 3/4 empty of air on your lungs. So you have about 1 or 2 seconds to release your shot. If you don't release your shot, then you'll start. No, it doesn't. So weapon is off of safe now. When you squeeze the trigger, the bullet will fire. And that right leg. Hell yeah! The reason why we get you guys to shoot at a smaller object is because if you aim small, your body instinctively tunes itself to calm down and then try and hit that target which you want. But at the same time, is an elk or a deer this big?
No.
They're this big. So look at all these shots. This could have been many of your guys' first kill. So when you guys are ready to do so, you guys will be successful in that endeavor. Woo! Good job, boys! For every left step, I want you to count. So 1, 2, 3, all the way until over there. As soon as you get there, you're gonna walk back and see if that number matches up. What this does is it gives you an ability to track distance, only using yourself as your own pedometer. Utilizing the ground, nice flat terrain, you're able to gauge how far you can go in this kind of terrain instinctively by continuing to have your own count. When you have your own count, it's easier to then navigate further into the wilderness on your own accord. You know how far you went without a GPS and things like that. So we'll line up here. And then we've got the sleeping air mattress there, and then we got that chainsaw. When we walk, let's not try and converge and bump into each other. Let's try to walk towards the truck in a nice straight line as possible. But if you want to go a little bit ahead or a little bit behind, you're a little slower, that's okay. But everybody will step off with their left foot. And you're gonna count. You're not gonna talk, you're just gonna count every left step until over there. Ready to go? Okay, so the best way to do it when you're walking, you wanna walk in as straight a line as you possibly can. Don't look at the ground, but pick a distance far off and then walk straight towards it. So pick something. I'm gonna pick the left hand, that post sticking out of the ground. Maybe Brandon will pick the headlights or something. And the rest of you guys can pick something other in between. And on your own time, you can take off and go.
65.
Don't forget it, Austin.
60 or 75.
Josh.
71.
Kenton. Brandon.
63.
Don't forget your pace. I'm gonna ask you again. See you guys down at the fire. Just like that. See how that's done? Just made a simple, normal knot there. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take one side. Doesn't matter what side, it's up to you. I always start with the right. And you're gonna take this, make a small little curve and put it in front of the two. And then you're gonna take your second one and take it underneath and under and through that loop you just made. So once again, you're gonna take your right hand side, make a little loop like that. And you take your left hand side, go underneath. See how this one's overlapping? Now I'm gonna go underneath and through the loop. Like so. I'm gonna gently tighten it. So now I'm starting to form the beginning of the bracelet. It's gonna look different on both sides. I started making the loop on the right hand side. Now I gotta switch to the left. And it's gonna be rotating back between left and right, left and right. So now I make a loop on the left hand side. And I take my right hand string and under and through the loop. And you completely start to see it coming together. And you're going to continue doing that until you run out of rope. If by chance while you're working on this and you want to set it down, say you need to get called out, you need to go cut some wood, you need to go skin a moose or an elk, and you want to come back to it, doesn't matter whichever way you pick it up, you can always come back to it and begin working on it again. As you guys can notice, there's kind of a defining loop on each side. You can make that loop on the same side where you last started off right there. Now, this is the predominant loop. I'm going to make my loop on that side. So like I was telling you, Shane, I was just giving it to a buck. Next thing you know, I saw another buck. With my trusty buck gut blade, I took it and I threw it like this.
Oh! Are you hunting or are you going trick-or-treating?
What? Yeah, he's a monster, eh, that guy?
Yeah.
Tabernacle, scare me, that guy.
Hey, away!
Here's
Your turn.
Ice.
Dawson, you gotta go dance like that. Dawson, I want you to honor your people.
Oh. Hey.
Hey, I'm talking to you. Nuttamuk, my nephew. I wanted to tell you guys a story about how the skunk got his stripe. You know, a long time ago we couldn't gather like this around fires. Because they used to...
Yeah, we only repeat, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.